Tonight, closing the divide, how millions of federal dollars could help Duluth recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. And warning issued. Undercover operations at Minnesota bars and restaurants show some businesses not complying with reopening regulations. Plus, compromise reached. Top Republicans in Minnesota say they're inching closer to a deal on police reform, but a major construction bill could be left in the dust.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Matt. Kristen is on assignment tonight. Thanks for joining us. More than $2 million is on its way to Duluth to help areas impacted by COVID-19. One of the big projects on City Council's radar is the closing of the digital divide in Lincoln Park. A local nonprofit hopes to do just that using federal CARES Act money approved by Congress in March. CBS3's Leanne Valdez has the details.
The COVID-19 pandemic has uncovered many disparities within the Duluth community.
COVID-19 is making access to the internet so much more important.
Duluth's Lincoln Park neighborhood is specifically struggling with a digital divide.
We have at least a third of our residents here in the Lincoln Park neighborhood that do not have data access.
Jody Slick, founder and CEO of the nonprofit Equilibrium 3, is hoping to use the money from CARES Act to give digital access to those who need it.
For those that are applying for jobs, for our school kids, and those that just need to be connected to other people.
Slick says there are many different ways they can help close the gap, like providing hotspots. But her organization would use a neighborhood-based approach.
Look at innovating and trying to develop neighborhood Wi-Fi service.
Slick says the funding is a crucial stepping stone for Duluth. Ben Van Tassel with Duluth's Planning and Economic Development Department agrees.
There's a big gap in technology, whether it's infrastructure or service or even the simple device for people.
Van Tassel says there's a number of other projects the city could use this money for, too.
From public facility improvements, like improvements to homeless shelters or other facilities, to services helping people access health care. Some of the funds will go towards things like helping businesses adapt to a new environment as far as, how to serve up their business in the different ways.
The City Council is expected to officially accept about $2.2 million in CARES Act funding for those projects tonight. If approved, the city will start working on contracts, hoping to get the money into the community within the next couple of weeks. Also at tonight's City Council meeting, councilors are expected to once again consider removing the word chief from a city title. If approved, Chief Administrative Officer would be known as City Administrator. Mayor Emily Larson says erasing the word would better reflect the city's goal of being inclusive and sensitive to all ethnicities. Councilors tabled the issue last month. Councilors will also hear public feedback on a possible tax abatement for the proposed Costco store. The retail giant is expected to start construction near Haynes and Arrowhead Road this fall. If approved, the City of Duluth would provide about $1.3 million in tax abatement financing for public infrastructure improvements. The money would not go to funding the actual building. Meanwhile, St. Louis County is also considering a separate $650,000 tax abatement. You can submit comments during the virtual meeting, which starts at 7 o'clock tonight. You can also submit written or phone comments in advance. New at 6, a major Wisconsin-based manufacturer has filed for bankruptcy. Briggs & Stratton, based in Milwaukee, makes small gas engines used in lawnmowers, generators, and more. The company blamed challenges during the pandemic. And Dave's here for our first look at the weather. Dave, what a beautiful day out there today.
Turnabout is fair play,
Yeah.
as they say, because boy, was it a wild weekend, especially in northern Wisconsin, where both Friday night and Saturday night strong storms, including EF0 and EF1 tornadoes, touched down, especially towards Red Cliff. But the Solon Springs Barnes area had its share of damage too, and here's an example of a tree down near Barnes over Upper Eau Claire Lake there in between Solon Springs and Barnes. Eric Neff sent us this picture. Well, the weather calmed down today indeed, thanks to high pressure in place, but that low coming from the west will cloud things up again as the night goes on and lead to another chance for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. And there's a chance some of them could become severe again, and heavy rain is possible as well, running from the tune of a half-inch to even an inch and a half from early tomorrow morning till about 10 o'clock come tomorrow night. So here's our day planner for Tuesday. About a 30% chance for rain in the morning. Morning low will be near 55. Then around lunchtime through the afternoon and early evening, it's an 80% chance for the rain, which could indeed become heavy at times and trigger some flash flooding problems. High temp only 67 degrees thanks to cloud cover keeping the sun away tomorrow afternoon. 50% chance for things to wrap up tomorrow evening. Once we get into Wednesday, it will start to clear up and it will start to warm up once again. A couple of cool days though first, then by the weekend it could be hot, muggy, and stormy again. And we'll show you the 7-day forecast with the details in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. One of the biggest questions on parents' and students' minds is how the school year will look this fall. Right now, the Superior School District is laying out its plans and the adjustments they'd be ready to make at a moment's notice. CBS 3's John Cardinelli is at that meeting and has the details.
Over the last couple of weeks, the Superior School District has been surveying families on how they wish to return back to school. And through those surveys, they've discovered that 88% of parents would like their students to move back into a classroom. Tonight, the board will hopefully put forward a happy medium. Following state health and CDC guidelines, at this point, the district plans to tackle a hybrid approach for the 2020-2021 school year. That would mean that students will be learning both in classroom and online, but they are still preparing for entirely in-person or entirely online scenarios as well. According to school district documents, the hybrid model would mean students kindergarten through 5th grade would attend 4 full days of school, with Wednesday being virtual. Middle and high schoolers would attend 2 full days of school. The other 3 would be virtual. Students would be assigned their in-person days. Those who do not wish to attend in-person school would also have an option to go completely virtual. Under the current plan, masks in the classroom would not be required. However, they would be heavily encouraged for teachers and students. And if there is another spike in the virus, they do plan to going to all online learning.
Thanks, John. Meanwhile, teachers' unions in Wisconsin's 5 largest school districts are calling for online learning this fall. The letter sent to Governor Tony Evers and other state health officials today was signed by union leaders in Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay, Kenosha, and Racine. They're citing the health and safety of students during the pandemic. The Milwaukee and Madison districts have already announced that they plan to start the school year with online instructions only and will reassess later. New at 6, Minnesota health officials have sent warnings to 14 bars and restaurants for allegedly violating the governor's health orders. The warnings were issued to Twin Cities area facilities. It follows 2 weeks of surveillance that looked into more than 900 establishments across the state. Investigators were looking for employees not wearing masks, not social distancing, or ignoring seating capacity rules. Booker Hodges, Assistant Commissioner for the Department of Public Safety, says abiding by the state's orders is all about respect.
Me respecting the businesses out there in terms of patronizing and making sure that we're all out following executive order. It's really important that we do this. And why is it important? This is the only way we're going to get out of this.
Health officials say these recent warnings were mostly about education. Later on, they say violations could lead to fines or loss of liquor licenses. One of Minnesota's largest labor unions is calling for a statewide mandatory mask policy. AFSCME Council 5 represents more than 43,000 state, county, and city employees across Minnesota. Union leaders say mask wearing is based in science and could help strengthen the economy faster. They added that the labor industry is, quote, outraged that the state hasn't already issued the requirement. Governor Tim Walz has said he is considering a statewide mask mandate. No word on when or if he might enact it. The city of Duluth is facing a lawsuit claiming it skirted the law when appointing election judges for absentee ballots. The group Minnesota Voters Alliance, the state's Republican Party, state Senate candidate Donna Bergstrom, and 3 election judges filed a lawsuit last week. It claims city staff played an improper role in deciding whether to accept or reject absentee ballots. The city assigns 10 election judges to look over absentee ballots, including checking for signatures and ballot ID numbers. The lawsuit says the city also failed to make sure there were members of both major political parties on the board reviewing absentee ballots. City reps say they haven't received the court filing yet and can't comment specifically on the case. They did say the city follows federal and state law when conducting elections. As the second special session winds down, Minnesota lawmakers say they're close to a deal on police reform. Senate Majority Leader and Republican Paul Gazelka says legislative leaders have reached a tentative agreement on a police accountability bill. It includes banning chokeholds and warrior-style training. It's less likely, however, that lawmakers will pass the nearly $2 billion bonding bill. It doesn't have enough Republican support in the democratically controlled House. Gazelka says the Senate plans to adjourn late tonight if they can't make a deal. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, positive results. That's what experts are saying about a potential COVID vaccine. Details coming up.
After a wild weekend, higher pressure from Canada cooled things down today. High temp 71, the normal is 77. By next weekend, we'll be back towards the upper 80s again. But in between, a bit of a cool down, which won't prevent potentially big storms coming around tomorrow. 80% chance for showers and thunderstorms, which we'll talk about coming up after the break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 6 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3. Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on Live, local, CBS 3 Duluth.
Applying for Social Security disability? Get help. Call the law office of Robert Hoagland, the largest disability law firm in Minnesota. A Social Security attorney will meet with you by phone or at an office location near you. No fees unless we win.
Keep scrolling. Order food. Skip headlines. Order shoes. Use AutoSend for flowers. Use AutoSend for birthdays. Don't go outside. Don't go outside. Don't leave the phone behind. No sync. Don't blink. Don't think. Don't ever let yourself feel this alive. Breathe. Ride.
Reclaim your life today in the face of anxiety, depression, or thoughts of suicide at Ketamine North Infusion. In our safe spaces, we want to ensure you a better quality of life with our low-dose IV ketamine infusions. Ketamine North Infusion. Be well with us.
Twin Ports Cyclery, awarded Best Bike Sales and Service Shop in Duluth, is a neighborhood bike shop. Their honest and friendly staff are ready to meet your biking needs. From sales, service, bike fitting, and parts, they are here to get you back on the road because they go the extra mile to help.
At Super One Foods, you'll find more than just low prices and better choices. You'll find friendly faces like ours, working hard to save you money.
Super One has a tireless commitment to quality and freshness and a goal of delivering 5-star service to every customer to bring the absolute best value to your shopping experience. Check out these specials available at all Super One locations going on now.
So stop into the Super One Foods right in your neighborhood. Super One Foods, serving you low prices and better choices.
The 2020 Subaru Crosstrek. It comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus an economical 33 miles per gallon. And the Crosstrek has the lowest 5-year cost to own in its class for 3 years running, according to Kelley Blue Book. Love is out there. Find it in a Crosstrek.
Lease a new 2020 Subaru Crosstrek Premium for $329 a month. See the versatile Crosstrek today at Miller Hill Subaru. Online at millerhill.com.
Social Security benefits denied? Get help. Call the law office of Robert Hoagland, the largest disability law firm in Minnesota. A Social Security attorney will meet with you by phone or at an office location near you. No fees unless we win.
Getting the gloves on. She's going to work. 12 hard-working Americans.
I just want to show folks that there's opportunities out there.
Will compete at real job sites.
I'm a strong believer in taking control of your own life.
We have a burst pipe. Everything you got. 61 years old. This man knows how to work.
I'm a force to be reckoned with. I'm not punching out.
Tough as nails. New episode Wednesday, 8/7 Central on CBS.
Watch Dave, Caitlin, and Austin for local weather you can trust on CBS. Live, local, CBS 3. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Here's a live look at Ashland. We're eyeing up, of course, the bay and up towards the Apostle Islands here, where, of course, this weekend it was pretty wild, both Friday night and Saturday night. 2 rounds of severe weather from the same low-pressure system. First warm front Friday night, then cold front Saturday night, and farther up the shore towards Red Cliff. That's where the brunt was born. Folks there had 100-mile-an-hour winds, confirmed tornadoes in that neck of the woods, and a lot of trees down. So a lot of cleanup going there right now. We keep our fingers crossed for folks there and everywhere around the region who bumped into severe weather over the weekend. And now, I hate to say it, we could have a little bit more tomorrow, although the chance is better for heavy rain than knockdown storms. But some towns probably can't handle with their water tables another 1.5 inches of rain, which is what some places could get. And I'll show you a chart on that in a little bit. But right now we've got the current conditions at Duluth International, where today it's just a gorgeous day thanks to high air pressure from Canada. It's fairly sunny for many places, and it's cooler than normal. 69 is the current temp at the airport in Duluth. It's normally 77 this time of year. Easterly, southeasterly winds running 10 miles per hour, and the air pressure is high at 30.03 inches of mercury. But with a low pressure system looming, barometer readings will go down. Temperature readings, they went down today, like I mentioned, and likely will stay down through tomorrow at least. And currently we have mid to upper 60s in the Upper Peninsula, 69 to 74 for northwestern Wisconsin, and anywhere from 53 by the lake in Grand Marais, Minnesota, to 74 degrees by Grand Rapids. Slowly warming up over the next couple of days, and by next weekend, hot and steamy again, just like the systems that triggered across our region this past weekend. Well, Doppler map right now shows with the high pressure in control in our area, it's relatively clear and it's awfully calm, but clouds are already approaching from the west from that low pressure system that's coming our way. And after midnight, it will make its presence felt with a cloudier sky, and then by sunrise, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. An 80% chance that'll be with us until about 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And rain totals, like I mentioned, for many places could go from about a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches, especially on the Minnesota side of the border. But this time around, it'll be a little bit less, especially towards Ashland and the Bayfield Peninsula, which may be good news for folks there, again, still cleaning up from the weekend violent weather that crossed their paths. Tonight, crossing our path in Minnesota, we have low temps in the 50s with increasing clouds. And for Wisconsin and Michigan, 50s as well, with increasing clouds there too. For tomorrow, those thicker clouds keep the temperatures down. They run 68 to 72 in Wisconsin and the UP, and an 80% chance for those showers and storms. It's an 80% chance as well for Minnesotans, with high temps running about 67 near Ely to 72 by Moose Lake. So that's cooler than normal. And we eye up the extended forecast here, Anthony. 67 Tuesday, then 72 on Wednesday, 77 Thursday. Next chance of rain, it comes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Could be storms again, and by Saturday, Sunday, getting also close to 90 with high dew points again. So we're taking a break for a couple of days from the warm spell, but it comes back.
Thanks, Dave. New preliminary research is showing positive results for 2 coronavirus vaccines being developed outside the U.S. Gwen Baumgartner has the latest from London.
Researchers are having promising results with an experimental vaccine being developed by the University of Oxford and the pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca. The study in The Lancet looked at more than 1,000 healthy adults and found the vaccine induced strong antibody and immune responses.
What this vaccine does particularly well is trigger both arms of the immune system. So in addition to neutralizing antibodies, which other vaccines do, we also see a very strong T-cell response.
Researchers saw the strongest immune response in the 10 people who got 2 doses. Half the people in the study got the coronavirus vaccine. The other half got a meningitis vaccine. People who had the COVID vaccine had side effects including fever, chills, and muscle pain more often than the other group. Dr. Barry Bloom is with Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health.
They gave a small number of individuals the equivalent of Tylenol, called paracetamol in the UK, and that lessened the symptoms quite significantly to make them more tolerable without compromising the immune responses.
Now researchers will enroll tens of thousands of patients to see if the vaccine is able to protect people from COVID-19. Last week, a study on the experimental coronavirus vaccine being developed by Moderna and the National Institute of Health showed it was well tolerated and prompted an immune response with no serious adverse events.
Vaccines remain the world's best hope at controlling this epidemic.
Researchers are currently testing more than 20 coronavirus vaccines in people around the world.
Another study published today in The Lancet also found another experimental vaccine from China was safe and induced an immune response. Coming up in sports, an update to Grand Rapids' brand new turf. Kelly's back from vacation and in with sports next.
The 2020 Honda Rubicon at RJ Sport and Cycling.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. The TED event is happening now, where you're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
The U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Museum in Eveleth is America's hockey showplace to preserve history and honor the legends of the game. Tour their collection of memorabilia, video displays, and interactive exhibits honoring this game we love. Plan your visit today.
It's 2020 summer clearance time at Duluth Dodge. Purchase a new Jeep Cherokee and finance for 84 months at 0% interest. Wow, 0% for 84 months. Only at the new Duluth Dodge, 4755 Miller Trunk Highway or DuluthDodgeMinnesota.com.
We dance for healing. We dance for one another. For connection. In ways like no other. Together. Or even apart. We are resilient. The 2020 census is here, and we need to do our part for our people.
This right here is confidence in a bottle. It just gives you such a boost of confidence.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something on the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
Makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes in as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. Even watching the video, this is a real, it's a model, but it's a real guy with real bags underneath his eyes. And I did this to my father. We were at home. I had the timer on, and we were screaming. 4 minutes, 34 seconds, completely gone.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. These lines bother me. They really do. And this is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. So it targets all those problem areas.
So this would be a daily thing? Or
it absolutely could be a daily thing. But the way you want to do it is you want to have a clean, dry face. You use a small amount because it's so powerful. You have high school reunions. You have events you want to go to. You want to look years younger. This is it.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work for yourself after your first application. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth. Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
It's been the season of hiring at Proctor High School with the boys hockey, boys basketball, and volleyball positions all open at the beginning of summer. One of them was filled today. Proctor announced that they have hired Cole Lipinski as their next boys basketball coach. He replaces Corey Diedrich, who resigned after his only season last year. Lipinski is a 2009 Proctor graduate and has been involved with coaching at the school since the fall of 2010. After taking a break to referee last season, he'll be back on the court this winter, he says.
What I'm most excited about is I know all these guys. They're a bunch of good kids, and I'm excited to get working with them again after having a year off. And they're a good group of guys that I'm excited to work with again. Being part of the community is fun. This is a strong community. I mean, most of the other head coaches here at Proctor are Proctor guys. It's nice, and I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to start. And this is where I want to be.
Come this fall, Noble Hall Field in Grand Rapids will have a new look to it, including the ability to be accessible to more than just football. As fall sports are inching closer to getting started, the final touches are being put together at Noble Hall Field to be completed by next week. Back in June, the school board proposed that if the community raised $700,000, they would put up the rest. And thanks to some generous donations, construction could begin. In the past, the field was only used in the fall for football, boys and girls soccer, and the marching band, as well as the Itasca Community College football team. But now it can be used year-round.
We're just excited about the opportunities, and then in the summer, I mean, it'll open up for, you know, our programs, our teams, the youth teams, the community programs. So I think it's endless what we can do out on this field.
The research committee working on the project estimates that Noble Hall Field could go from hosting 40 games annually to 250. Coming up tonight at 10, we hear from coaches on their excitement about the new project. NFL players have been raising concerns about safety as they prepare for their training camps later this month. The league and the Players Association came to an agreement that would include daily testing for COVID-19 among all players. A number of top players have tweeted they have concerns about returning. And the plan is as follows. Players will be tested on the daily for the first 2 weeks of training camp. Players will need more than one negative test before being allowed to enter the team facilities. After that 2-week mark, the rate of positive tests needs to be below 5% in order for testing to move to every other day. The training camps are set to begin July 28th ahead of the season kickoff in September. And as of Friday, 72 players have tested positive for COVID-19. That's going to do it for sports for now. We'll have more here back tonight at 10. Tony, I'm going to send it back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Kelly. 51 years ago, one of the most memorable phrases was uttered. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. On July 20th, 1969, astronauts aboard Apollo 11 became the first people to step foot on the moon. After traveling 240,000 miles in 76 hours, Apollo 11 entered into a lunar orbit on July 19th. The next day at 1:46 p.m., the lunar module Eagle, manned by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, separated from the command module. 2 hours later, the Eagle began its descent to the lunar surface, and at 4:17 p.m., the craft touched down on the southwestern edge of the Sea of Tranquility. Armstrong immediately radioed to Mission Control in Houston, Texas, a now famous message: the Eagle has landed. Dave, you were just a young tyke when that happened.
Yeah, that was a big deal up in Ely. I remember getting up in the middle of the night to see the event. And then for the next couple of years, all the other Apollo missions, it was a great time to be a space fan.
For sure.
That helps a lot of people become weather fans a little bit closer to home.
Okay.
And closer to home, indeed. Our 7-day forecast shows a little excitement coming back to our picture tomorrow. After a calm day Monday, 80% chance for showers and storms returns. Biggest threat could be flash flooding, with a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of rain possible from that system. In turn, that goes away by Wednesday, and this cool trend that we have now of 67 on Tuesday goes to 72 on Wednesday, back up to 77 on Thursday, which sets us up for heat and humidity to return. The warm spell will get its vengeance next weekend when it gets towards the upper 80s here in the Twin Ports, and that in turn followed by a little bit of a calmer pattern starting next Monday.
That's all we have for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here at 10 o'clock.